I made a deal with Cole. It's not like making a deal with the devil, but it's pretty darn close. I made a deal with Cole several months ago. And I called him and I said, Cole, I want to make you a deal. But when I get to the point that I'm a national marketing director, I want you to introduce me. When I get to be a national marketing director, Cole gets to introduce me. Today, and he was just an executive director or regional marketing director at the time. Today, I get to introduce my good friend and mentor, National Marketing Director Cole Thurman.
Can everybody hear me okay? All right. Thank you for that introduction, Dave. This is certainly the best part about being in this company, and voice box here. And the best part certainly about this company and this business is the people. It truly, truly is. So, as Mike mentioned, you know, it's a Saturday. Make sure what time it is. Saturday, okay? And you know, big city. You guys could be anywhere, you know, you want right now, and you chose to be here. So my intention today is to, you know, you paid to be here and all that. So my intention is to give everybody in here some type of value. And go ahead and get started here. Well, first I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Some of you guys know a little bit about me. I'll go a little bit more in depth. I currently live in St. Joe. I'm not from there. I've lived there for about, Dave, you might bring me a glass of water, buddy. Throat's a little dry. And I've lived there for about 2 months now.
Did I mention how demanding he is?
It's time to have some grant parties.
There you go. I'll help you.
But I'm originally from a little tiny town called Atlanta, Missouri. It's over by the Carrillo area. About 400 people in the town. My high school was a K through 12 school with about 180 people. There were 16 people in my graduating class, so that gives you an idea where I came from. And sadly, I was like fourth in the class. but the three people above me were all my cousins, so it's all good. Went to college at Missouri Valley College on a track and cross-country scholarship. Got my teaching degree. Did that for a couple of years. I do enjoy teaching. I do enjoy coaching. I enjoy being around kids and all that stuff. But make a long story short, wasn't my cup of tea really. Small 1A school. Actually coached one of those guys back there in track, and he was a good athlete. And anyway, so typical 1A school, they ask you pretty much, hey, can you coach every sport in the school? And I was, 22, fresh out of college. I was like, yeah, do it all. So let's get to school every morning, 6:30, and depending on if we had a road game, I was getting back, 11:30, midnight, getting paid like, you know what teachers get paid. Probably the most underpaid, profession out there for sure, for what you have to put into it and what you get paid. I was really, really ticked off when I was finding out that my friends who were waiting tables were making twice as much money as me. So I quit teaching. I did not like the school I was at for a couple reasons. I liked it for the most part, but didn't necessarily get along too well with the authority. And anyway, stopped doing that, and from then I helped my dad farm. I did construction work, sheetrock, all that fun stuff. And throughout that period of time, I got exposed to multi-level marketing companies. And once again, to make a long story short, I tried 6 companies. I always used to say 5, but I was driving down the road the other day, and I remember the sixth one. I joined 6 companies before Nerium. And, what kept me going was there was a guy that I knew in a small town pretty close to ours, who became a millionaire, essentially. Well, he's actually a billionaire now. He's actually the CEO of another company. It's crazy. And it kept me thinking, I know it's possible. Like, I know people can make money with this. Like, I know they can do it. And trust me, after 6 companies, by the way, I'm not like, this successful guy that joined Nerium. I was a broke loser that joined Nerium. Out of six companies, I made a total of $15. That's not a good average. Okay? And the $15 I made was a commission from my sister bought some canister of crappy chocolate powder that's supposed to make you lose weight that didn't work. So that gives you an example kind of my sales experience. I grew up poor, never had anything. I can recall like critters running around my house. That's not even a joke. There was rats, on occasions raccoons. Like I lived in a shanty, terrible, terrible house, and pretty much never had anything ever until like 2 years ago. So thank you for coming, everybody, and just kidding. All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about, I just want to make sure my time is here. I'm going to talk a little bit about recruiting here, and if you're not constantly recruiting and bringing in new people, obviously, we all know what happens. It's, your business goes stale, it goes stagnant, and I think the recruiting process is probably where, most people have the most hiccups with that. Prospecting 101 here, okay? Amy touched on it, but knowing your why. I'm feeling a little dehydrated. I do have some tips, non-Nerium related. Don't drink excessive amounts of a certain type of coconut oil on an empty stomach, which is why I was unable to come up here for the market party. Anyway, it's all good now. Life is all about learning. So knowing your why, okay? I have like 3 different personalities, so knowing your why, it is so critically important. And seriously, if you haven't clearly established, everybody says they got one, I want to help people, I want to do this, that, but seriously, sit down sometime if you have to lock yourself in a room and think about, why you're truly doing this. If your why is not strong enough, the smallest little stupid thing will throw you off track. Just before the meeting, I was sharing with Mike and Raylyn and Mindy a very rotten text. It was a Facebook message that my high school English teacher sent me. Anyway, that's a whole other story. She's not a fan of what I do. But if my reasons, which I make enough money now that she can whatever. But in the beginning, if she would have sent me that message a week after I got started, I might have quit. So firmly establish your why and why you're doing this. Okay? If you did not write down your why earlier, for me, it's one of those things. It's not like you write it down once and then you're good to go. It's something to come back to all the time. Probably everybody in this room that's been in this for a while, your why changes, your why evolves. I'll be honest, I joined Nerium for a very shallow reason. I looked at the comp plan, and at the time, I didn't realize. At the time I joined Nerium, I lived in my sister's basement, rock star status, And when you're 25 and you live in your sister's basement, that's obviously not the most ideal place you want to be in your life. My sister joined. She's the one that signed me up. She asked me every day for about 2 straight weeks, so she was definitely following through and following up with me. She was just yelling down the basement. I'm not kidding. I didn't bring it with me, but 2 years ago, I was living in my sister's basement. Not just in their basement. I was living in their storage room. Because she has 6 kids, and that was the only place I could just not hear kids. Get stuff done. So they had this storage room, and it was just filled with junk. They moved in, they just threw everything in there. And I slid everything over. I didn't have a mattress. I was sleeping on my nephew. He's 8 years old. I was sleeping on his race car mattress. I'm not kidding. My legs were hanging over the edge. And I had a card table that was covered in, it was just like my grandparents bought it like in the 70s. And I had my computer there, and that's where my office was. There's no sunlight, no nothing. That's the only place I could get anything done. I have a picture of it, and I was going to bring it, but I'll do that some other day. It was really, really bad though. Anyway, knowing your why, when you're talking to somebody, you have to have that. So, we all go through the same stuff when we're talking to people. I can distinctly remember walking into a salon when I just started, because back when I started, that's what I thought you did. You just went. I think everybody kind of gets that. Like, oh, I'm just going to sign up all these salons. I got my butt kicked. If they don't know you, you're just another dude trying to, I'll never forget, I walked into this hair salon, Chillicothe, and I didn't even know what I was doing. And this girl, she walked up to me, and she was about 5'2", like 90 pounds. She's like, "Can I help you?" And I was like, "No, I'm all right." And I walked out. This 90-pound weakling girl scared me. That's how scared and just I was terrified to do this. So I want you to know that if you're in that position and this is just different, it's different. This is what we do is different. It's different. I have pretty much achieved in everything I've ever done, from sports to academics. So I thought I was going to come in here and just do no problems. It's not like that. And you got to have your why. I won't go that long in every slide. Exposure is everything. It's a numbers game. And that's so true. Like Jim Rohn says, what's he say there? EHT. Make up for numbers what you lack in skill. Make up for numbers what you lack in skill. And it truly is a numbers game. And there's only, billions of people in the world. So amateurs condense, professionals sort. One of the analogies we use is a deck of cards. There's 4. It's one of my favorite ones. I was going to bring a deck of cards here today too, but that coconut oil screwed me up. And anyway, you got that deck of cards. There's 4 aces in there. Okay, and you go through those cards, and you will get to the 4 aces. And it's the same with the people you're prospecting. And one of the things that Danny Gassney said a while back, which by the way, like Mike said, I commend every single one of you for being here, because you are 10 core, and that's one of the 10 cores. But it does take commitment. What we do is not easy, but it's simple. I mean, it would have been very easy to roll over in the blankets or whatever you do, and you guys aren't like that though, because you're serious. But I remember when I first got started, and man, I just wanted it so bad. I wanted to sign up everybody. I didn't care. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand, but how many in this room has signed somebody up that you wish you wouldn't have? Or you can raise your hand. Okay. So I have signed people up, and I'll just be completely transparent that I would pay $5,000 for certain people to not be on my team. They're not on my team. They quit in like a day. But just we are looking for the lookers. We want people with a good attitude. If we have the mentality more so that we are like a consultant, instead of, it is not for everybody. It's not for everybody, and that's okay. We don't want this to be for everybody. Jeff Olson told me to my face in Cancun on last year's trip. He said when he got started with his company, he said if 9 out of 10 people were telling him no, he knew that was right where he should be. If 1 out of 10 people are saying yes, that's right where you should be. I mean, think about it. I mean, you have to see the opportunity before the opportunity's there. You have to have that vision. Okay, you don't want everybody to join. It sounds crazy, but you don't. So we are sorting through people. We are looking through the lookers. Building a big list is huge. It's sincere, but building a big list, okay? Pretty much, most of the time, with a new person that joins our team, we do want them to make a top 10 list. We do want them to do that, but that's just your top 10. It doesn't end there. If you make a list of 10 people and they all say no, well, you're screwed. So you gotta make a huge list. I will tell you that the first 20 people told me no. Some of them laughed in my face. Some of them said, "You're stupid." Some of them said, my uncle said, this is what. Cole's in another deal. He's in another deal. My dad said that. My dad said that to me. So I asked my dad. It's kind of a funny story. I asked my dad if I could borrow $500, and I've been borrowing money from my parents forever, and which is funny because they don't have any money. So they do now. So my dad was mouthing me about Nerium when I first got started, and I asked him if I could have $500. He said, "Why?" I said, "I don't know. I just need it." And I got his money. I got his social security number, and I signed him up. So my first recruit was my dad. He didn't know it. And I said, "You know what?" I said, at the time I owed my parents about $6,000 or $7,000. And I said, "I'm going to make your money back through Nerium." 10 months later, he earned the free Lexus. He didn't do, well, he did a little bit, but I did a lot of it for him, and I was glad to. I'm happy to. My advice, if you're in here and you're just getting started and you don't have anybody, I think it's a great idea to put your family in at the top, And I told my dad, I had a very clear conversation with him. I don't know if I'm going to start helping you make money in 3 months or 3 years, but it's going to happen. Okay, let them know you're not just going to, babysit it the whole time. But it really is something that anybody can do. He goes golfing, and he was handing bottles out to his friends to take home to their wives. So it literally is something that anybody can do. Mastering the 2-a-day system. I think pretty much everybody has the same thoughts about the 2-a-day, or at least I know that I did. I just thought it was a joke. It's ridiculous. Two people a day. But you think that, and okay, when I signed up, I hit senior director in about 90 days. About 75 days, but whatever. I call it 90 days. And I stayed there for about 7 or 8 straight months because I stopped doing what got me there. I got on my Lexus and I'm just gonna, all right, you guys do that. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Out of all the people on my team that helped me get to senior director like 2 years ago, I think only one of those people even have an active ADO now. And I don't say that to scare you. And a lot of that was my fault because I didn't know what I was doing. And honestly, the system now is set up you're trained so much better now. Okay, not to say that the training back then was bad. It's just better now. And the 10 core commitments, that's huge. That is huge. I was so excited when he talked about that because pretty much when they unrolled that at San Jose, because for me, one of the best things about the 10 core commitments is it eliminates all excuses. It eliminates excuses. I have people that, what do I do? What do I do? I'm just like, it's right there, do it. Did you? So if people, if you have people on your team that, we've all been there. I used to be the biggest baby in the world. I would call Anthony McMahon and tell him how bad my life sucked, and I can't get this thing to work. And so we all kind of go through those cycles, But the 10 core commitments eliminates all excuses. If someone's not having success, okay, did you talk to your 2 people yesterday? Did you do your party last week? And that's what I love about it. I was talking to a woman actually last night after our party, and she's a MLM junkie, whatever. And, I said, and she pretty much told me, I've always been able to sign people up, but I've never been able to get people to duplicate. And I said, yeah, I understand. And she was like, being very, which posture is one thing we'll get to in a little bit, but she was like, kind of pushing me a little bit. I'm like, dude, I don't need you. You need me. And I didn't call her dude, but, and what she was doing, really when people, a lot of times when people are giving you those objections, what they're really wanting is if they're not doing it, and sometimes people are snotty about it, they want to see what you'll say, but I can tell she actually genuinely wants to do this, and she was just wanting to figure it out. I said, we have a system, okay? My 6 companies before this, there was no system, there was nothing. And I showed her the 10 core commitments, and I said, if you just do these for 1 year, you're going to be successful. So the 2 a day, it doesn't seem like very much, but I don't know, and I could be completely wrong, but the majority of people in Nerium don't talk to 2 people a day, I mean, think about yourself. Who are the 2 people you talked to yesterday? Well, sending somebody a Facebook message and saying, giving them your 10-page thesis on why they should join Nerium is not an exposure. That's just pure vomit. And, the exposure is, for me, if you're the type of person that, the 2 a day is designed for, that spare time person. I'm full-time, if you're talking just like a really long time, and it takes you 5 minutes to expose somebody to something, well, there's 10 minutes there, you're asleep for 8 hours, so you got, whatever that math is, basically, you got a lot of hours in your day where what are you doing, okay? And once again, I feel very qualified to talk about this because I went through all the phases of this. Making your Facebook status, that's not a high payoff activity. I'm a huge fan of Facebook in the fact that, there are a lot of people watching you, and there's a slide on that too. But 2 a day, especially using the third-party tools and just following that system there. We'll talk a little bit about 3-way calls here in a second too. Recruiting is 2 things, taking people from not knowing to knowing. And that's so simple, okay? And it doesn't happen usually, I think it's on the next slide, but it usually doesn't happen on the first exposure, And it's just transferring belief, okay? And, you got to keep in mind that everything you're doing, everything you do duplicates. Even before you've even signed them even before you've signed them up, how you're prospecting them is duplicating. They're watching every single thing that you do. Every single thing that you do, they're asking themselves, can I do this? Can I do this? If you ask every single person, see, here's the thing. Everybody wants more time. Everybody wants more money. If my friend started some business where he had to, I don't know, that's weird. But basically, I was going to come up with something really weird that I don't think is. When you're talking to them, either when you're talking to them or, for example, I'll go back to it. LeBron James. LeBron James makes a lot of money, doesn't he? But I can never do what LeBron James does. I think I can shoot free throws better than him, but I can't. We can't do those types of things, okay? This is something that anybody can do. Anybody can do this. And when you're talking to somebody, when you're showing somebody that third-party tool, either consciously or subconsciously, they're asking themselves, can I do what this person's doing? Because they all want to make more money. They all want more time. Every single person wants that. And if they truly believe that they can do what you're doing, they'll sign up with you eventually if they believe it. Okay? If LeBron James started an NBA company where you got paid to dunk the ball from the free throw line and make $4 million, I would never sign up because I can't do that. That was a really weird example, but. Peaking interest, talked a little bit about it, but posture is such a huge thing, and it's probably the toughest at the it's the toughest at the beginning because you want that first brand partner so bad, and if they see you, basically being desperate, that really repels people. Like, why do you need me so bad? Why do you want me so bad? And try to give them that mentality, and it's something I literally, I have to tell myself to do, but we have the gift, okay? Every single person in here has the gift, and you're just offering the gift to people, You're offering that gift. They can choose to open it or not, okay? So if I'm offering the gift to somebody, and they send me a snotty Facebook message, I go, I don't think this is for you, because you don't belong in our culture, okay? This is a loving, caring, sharing family, and if you are going to be a jerk, we don't want you here. So having that posture, and, very rarely do I get this objection. One thing about objections that I've noticed is the objection that you fear is the objection you get the most. Like when I joined Nerium, by the way, when I joined Nerium, I was driving a 1993 Buick LeSabre that was 4 different shades of blue because I had hit so many deer in it. And by the way, also the day I joined Nerium, I had negative $300 in my bank account. So I sold my car for $800. Paid off for the $300 negative plus the fees, and then I had enough money in my bank, so I signed up in Nerium. That's how I got started in Nerium. And I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. I was sitting in the Liberty Starbucks. Where was going? And I had pretty much the exact amount on my debit card as it cost, plus like a penny. And I was like, what am I doing? This is company number 6 or 7. And it was ready to click order, and I was just like, oh! And I was like, oh, well, can't turn back now. And having that posture, what I'm saying is, I think the objection that you fear the most is the one that you get the most. So when I signed up, the $500 was a huge deal to me. And the first thing that I always thought about was, man, this $500 is so much money. I get the fact that you may not have $500. The time I joined was $500. We didn't have the $250. So I get the fact that you don't have that money. I get the fact that maybe you don't even have $250 because I had negative $300. Okay, and so I get that. But every single person can find the money. Every single person can find the money, and you all know that. The analogy that we love to use is, I can't afford it. Oh, okay. Would you buy my car for $500? It's a 2014 brand new Lexus. Well, yeah, we don't get the money. Okay, so it's not that they can't afford it. Even if you told them you got to have the $500 in an hour, they would go get it, right? They would go get it because it's not that they can't get the money; it's that they don't see the value in what you're presenting. So we have to do as good a job as we can to show people the value in what we have. Now, $250, I mean, there's just no excuse anymore. There's no excuse not to get started with this company for $250. I mean, for crying out loud, people spend $100 at at the bar and it's just dumb stuff, movies. Just don't buy dumb stuff for a month and then sign up in the company. So, back to this, my biggest objection was people wouldn't have the money. Wouldn't you know it? When I got started, everyone I talked to didn't have any money, which, you know, I was talking to people that were like me, who were broke and all that. So that's the other thing too, is recruiting up. Not to say that some people are better than, you know, other people, but go after that chicken list, help you, or ask your sponsor, you know, will you help me, you know, go after these people that I'm basically afraid to talk to, and we'll help you talk to them. Having that sense of urgency, people are attracted to people who seem busy, appear busy. I do this thing all the time if I'm at a baseball game or something and I'm talking to somebody, because one thing that really got me in trouble at the beginning was I was getting like this weird like salesman high off of talking to people. Like I seriously, I did a Skype session with my buddy from college and I talked to him for an hour and a half on why he should join Nerium. And he got done and he was like, man, he's like, this sounds awesome. He's like, I can't do that though. He's like, I can't talk to people like that. And that's when it hit me like a light bulb. And it's stuff we've heard all the time, but having that sense of urgency, and you know, the other day I was at a summer baseball game and I was talking to somebody about it, and it was to the point where I was ready to leave. And if I talked any longer, they would have got too much information. And I pulled out my phone and I did a fake phone call and I said, actually I'm getting a call, I gotta go, and I left. I mean, I was kind of like lying a little bit, but I knew if I said anything else, it would have, we don't want to give away the movie, you know. Always compliment, you know, I think that's huge. People don't give compliments anymore. And I mean, the other day I was at Walmart. I was wearing a green polo shirt, just a basic green shirt, and some, you know, like old woman walks up to me and she's like, I like your shirt. And I was like, oh, thanks. Like, it made me feel so good. So, you know, we all like compliments. I don't care who you are, you like a compliment. Be normal. That's a big one, because we all start, once again, this is one of the reasons why Jeff Olson, he's not the type of person, he's not going to give us scripts. There is training on what to say and how to say it and all that, but you're never going to hear Jeff Olson say, you have to say this sentence, because it takes you out of your just be you, you know. Get trained, get equipped, but be you. And one of the things he always talks about is, you know, the longest journey in your life is going from your head to your heart. And if you get out, just get out of your head. And that's where all the issues happen. If you're talking to another human being with the true sole purpose of, I'm here to help you. I'm giving you a gift. This can help you. I'm here to help you, man. This is something that can truly benefit you. And if it's not just, oh, I hope you sign up so I get $100 commission. That's what I used to do, because I needed money. I needed that money, man. So I was putting that off. You know, if you're, you know, broke as a joke, you can, like I used to be, then you can come off that way. But, you know, just be normal. Be yourself. Piquing interest. You got the warm market, cold market, people you don't know yet. Like I said, I've been pretty beaten up by the cold market. That's why it's called cold. I don't know if anybody's ever bought leads before. Like, you buy leads, people who express interest in a home business. Some people are good at it. Our sponsor, Anthony McMahon, he can call leads and chitty chat all day. Like, I can't do that. Like, it's not, I don't like the cold market. I like the warm market. The thing about the cold market is you're basically, someone that's your cold market, you're getting them, they are becoming your warm market in a way, so you got to warm them up anyway. Prospecting philosophies. The business is about building relationships, and there's like 5 arrows that say relationships. So it's obviously important enough that they put it in the slides here. But it is, as we talked about earlier, it is relationship marketing. And people want to do business with people that they know, people that they trust. And, sometimes it can take a year before someone feels comfortable enough they want to do this with you. That seems like a long time, but just on a side note, it took me 2 years to get the national marketing director, and, you might think, oh, that seems like a long time. Think about how fast the last 2 years went by. You know what I mean? For me, the last 2 years and the last year seems like the same thing. Like, I don't know what the heck I did or ever talked about or thought about before I joined this company. Seriously, you ever wonder that? Like, what did I used to do? Like, if you go to bed every night and it's on your mind and it's the first thing when you wake up, I congratulate you because you have a burning desire. And that, like that slide edge talks about that, you can feel that pull, that tension between you and what you want. There's that tension there. That's called your burning desire. And for people to, it's much easier to just cut that off because there's pain along the way. There can be pain. Somebody tells you, no, you're stupid, blah, 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 you should go to jail, whatever. Somebody told me that the other day, that I should go to jail. Okay. Whatever. So, it's a roller coaster like we talked about. And sometimes that you can feel that pull, and that's good though. It means it's already there. You just got to go get it. My philosophy is this business is a roller coaster, but you know what? Your life's a roller coaster anyway. So you can be on the boring roller coaster where bad stuff happens and then good stuff happens, or you can be on the Nerium roller coaster and make some money and make some friends. It's all the same. You're always going to be on a roller coaster. Why not just be doing this? Build relationships. Ooh, this is big. Not what you do. People are more compelled by why you do something than what you do. For example, my buddy Dave back there. If someone asks him, well, what do you do? Okay? Nerium International. We sell skin cream and pills. Obviously you're not going to say that. It's really boring. But they would be more compelled to hear him say, well, I actually started something and it's a way that I'm going to retire my wife. Or, my sister, she's a great example. What do you do? Well, I sell, I'm a part of a biotech, whatever. And that's all good and whatever, but people are compelled by why you're doing this. Well, I started this because, it allows me to stay home with my kids. So don't be afraid to tell people why you do it. Matter of fact, I think that's really, really powerful. I think it's really powerful to do that at your real results party, to let people know why you do it. I mean, who's going to sit there and criticize you? Obviously, there's people that will. But if you're pouring your heart out to somebody, telling them why you do this, I think it's very important that they know that. Okay, letting people off the hook, you may or may not be interested. That's huge. Okay, you got to get people you got to make people feel that it's okay to say no. And when you do that, it gives them a greater ability to say yes. Okay? If you have people that are putting you off, not showing up to your party, not doing this, just tell them, hey, if you're just blowing me off, I said this the other day, I was like, if you're just blowing me off, that's fine, it's cool. We're still friends. I mean, I'm not just friends with Nerium people only. I have like 2 other friends. But, let people know, hey, and here's the thing. I had this epiphany the other day. By you saying this, you can even say, this probably isn't for you. You know what? If you talk to 10 people, the majority of them will not sign up. So what you're saying is true. This probably isn't for you, based on statistics. This probably isn't for you. That's a truthful saying. And it's just letting people know that you don't really care one way or another that if they join or not. And that's part of posture. Like Jim Rohn says, you're either going to see me at the top of the mountain or dead on the side of the road because I'm not coming back. He says that. And that's the mentality that we have to have when you're talking to somebody. I could care less, buddy, if you want to do this or not. I'm giving you a gift, chump. And, you know, you can do this with me or not. You know, obviously you would never say something like that to somebody, but if you're thinking that in your mind, you know, have the mentality that, you know, they need, I mean, think about it. Everybody in this room knows 5 to 10 people that would benefit just from being in the room, just from the culture. Forget about making money, forget about all that other stuff. Everybody you love needs to be in this room. Everybody, it's true. We have a loving, sharing, caring culture, and it's lacking in today's world. Oh boy, here comes the acronym. All right. Okay, when you're talking to cold market people, or I gotta be getting close here. I am. We'll get through this here. We've got a couple more minutes. You know, be curious about them. That's the thing. Like, since this is all I do when I go to the gym, it's a tricky thing when this is all that you do, because you can't just sit at home. You know, you gotta like go out and do stuff so you can meet new people. If you just start asking questions to people, it's crazy. Like, when's the last time that someone just came up and just started asking you questions about yourself? People love that. People love it when you're just asking them questions, because it, you know, might build their ego a little bit or whatever, and it just makes them feel good. You know, there's a book, I don't know if you read it, How to Win Friends, Influence People by Dale Carnegie. He said one of the first things in there he says is, imagine everybody that you see has a sign on their forehead that says, make me feel important. And, you know, that's just a great way to live anyway. This little thing here, family, occupation, recreation, motivation. So, you know, that's something that you got to kind of learn first, I guess, before it becomes second nature. But those are basically the things that turn people on when you talk to them. People love talking about their family. Well, what do you do? Oh, I'm a coach, whatever. What do you do for fun? Whatever. Motivation. And it's just talking to those people about those things. Once again, letting them off the hook. Be attractive on social media. This is probably one of the things that just burns me up. I'm just going to go on this. There's so many people that wonder why, like, we've all seen it. Like, oh, my life sucks. How come nobody will sign up with me? I wouldn't sign up with you. I mean, you have to realize, like, you know, people are watching you. You know, I had a conversation with a kid. He joined my team, and the first day, it cracks me up. He made a post and it said FML, you know what that stands for, and then it had a picture of Mickey Mouse giving the finger. And then 20 seconds later it said, hey, private message me if you want to find out how to make money from home. I mean, I'm not going to sign up with you. Okay? That's the thing. I really like talking to business people too, like restaurant managers and stuff like that. I don't walk in and knock on the door. Hey, can I talk to the restaurant manager about Nerium? But you know who they are. Those are business people. They understand making money. Those are the people that, think about it, if you post a picture of Mickey Mouse and give it the finger, and that prestigious person in the community sees that, I mean, you just lost all credibility. Would you follow you? Okay? That's the thing. You attract what you are. You truly do attract what you are. I can remember when I was in kind of a dry stretch of my business, I was in a head case. And everybody that I signed up was head cases. Like, everybody's lives were crumbling and falling apart. And I'm like, why are all these people joining my team? And they're just like, everyone's like going through such horrible traumas. Because that was me. I was attracting it. And when you change who you are, when you make the decision that, you know, you're going to change who you are, because you can't really get anything different until you change who you are anyway, you start attracting better people. Third-party tools, be the messenger, not the message. It does take 5 to 7 exposures. Most people in here would probably say that, most people didn't say yes the first time. Obviously, some people do. But it takes several exposures. So just know that when someone doesn't sign up immediately, but it's okay, and it's in fact normal. Keeping it simple, and that way it'll duplicate. Labeling your tools, you guys got that. Lead capture pages, I honestly don't use these a whole lot. I know a lot of people that do, and they are effective. We're still going through the cycle here, piquing interest, using that third-party tool, and setting the follow-up. The follow-up, I would say, is probably the biggest. I suck at follow-up. When I got started, I would give somebody a bottle. Like I gave this woman a bottle, and 5 days I called her and asked her if she used it. Well, I haven't used it yet. She was really old too. And I'm not trying to be mean. I just say stuff sometimes I shouldn't. But she was like, "Oh, I forgot to." I was like, "You know what? That's fine. Just whenever you want to use it, go ahead. Just use it. It's fine." I mean, they think your product's a joke at that point. So, being intentional with the follow-up. The follow-up, I would say, even if it's sending videos, I'd say the two things that built my business the biggest are real results parties and sending videos to the Nerium Communication Center and following up with those people. What did you like best? Feel, felt, found. These are all, once again, things that you got to kind of learn before they become second nature. But to this day, when I'm doing a three-way call, if I can, I have a piece of paper in front of me with things that I need to be saying. I always use the feel, felt, found. Well, I think your company sucks. You know what? I feel the same. Or you get it. I don't feel that way, obviously. I know how you feel. I felt the same way too. Let me tell you what I found. This company's actually freaking amazing. I just got a $50,000 bonus. And so it doesn't matter what objection they give you, you can use that. Transitioning to a three-way call, like Amy mentioned, I think pretty much, unless you've had some network marketing experience, this is kind of foreign to you. Even though I was in 6 companies, we talked about three-way calls. What's that? And our business was it was okay, but it wasn't good. And when we started implementing three-way calls, it exploded. It took off. And it's so important too at the beginning. When you don't know anything, people act like they have to know everything. And it's good to get knowledge and all that, but don't let that freeze you and paralyze you. Someone starts asking you questions. I still sometimes say this. It sounds weird. I've been in for 2 years, but you know what? I don't know this. I'm gonna connect you with my upline. And it duplicates so well. It's so effective. There is something so special about that third-party validation. And it's like for me, crazy Cole's up to another company, but when I put him on the phone with, Anthony McMahon, who's making, 15 grand a month, whatever, it does a lot. Follow-up, set the follow-up, then you follow up with them. It's good to schedule that follow-up. Once again, three-way calls, talk a little bit about that. Edify the expert to your prospect, and give the expert some information on this person. Make sure that they have seen a third-party tool, something they've been exposed to something before they get on a three-way call. A while back, some guy got me on the phone with some Korean guy, and he hadn't even seen anything. And I was like, "So, do you know what Nerium is?" He's like, I don't know anything." Like, you gotta get them in front of something before they get on a three-way call. One thing, oh man, I'm sorry. You did shut off. So, there we go. Thank you. He is the man. And, one thing I always ask, and we've been duplicating it pretty good on our team, is we always ask people, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you see yourself? How do you see yourself? What's your interest level? 1 being, hang up the phone, we're done, or 10, I'm ready to sign up. And pretty much anything that's, a 2 is better than 1. And if they say a 7, they're pretty much going to sign up, I think. Make sure you mute your phone. Get into that. Amy covered this very well. Encourage the upgrade. I think when they came out with the 250 pack, it kind of hurt us a little bit for a week because everyone was only talking about the 250. Like that should be like the last thing you're talking about. as doing that only. Sponsoring people, send them to the new brand partner training. You know, it's really, really awesome now. They updated it. Talk a little bit about the 10 core, you know, track this. I love this because, once again, I said it eliminates any excuses, because if you're not succeeding, now you know why. Keep in mind what Amy talked about on that graph, though. It takes time for that curve to go up. You know, it takes time for that slight edge to kick in. You know, so it's like pumping the well. You know, you're pumping the well over and over and over. You don't see anything yet, but you're still doing the activity. The water's coming. Keep pumping the well. The water's coming. So you got to have that faith, which is why the last commitment is be here a year from now, so that you can see that curve go up. To exposure today, personal development. Personal development changed my life, to be honest. Having that workout partner, if you don't have one, get one. Track yourself weekly, monthly, and this is it here. But last thing I'll leave you with here is, you know, I'll just be honest again, if you were at San Jose, and Jeff Olson talked about the 10 core commitments, you can't not get excited. Like I said, if you're serious about your business, get your ticket to Dallas. It'll change your life. And if it doesn't, then I'll give you your money back. And I don't even know you. I'll just give you money. Because I know it'll change your life. And if you come up and tell me that it is, I'll just say, oh, I don't know who you are. But committing to the 10 core commitments for a year. And like we talked about, it's a roller coaster. Not every day. I can't even tell you how many times I wanted to quit. I mean, I know what it's like to be scared. I know what it's like to drive 4 hours for a party and nobody shows up. Nobody showed up to my first 3 parties. Yay, this business is awesome. It's terrible. That's why you have to have your why, okay? I know what it's like to just do all that stuff that is not fun. But I also know what it's like to make more money in the last 2 months than I made in a whole year as a teacher. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be 27 years old doing what I want and not having some chump with his thumb on my neck telling me what to do. I'm not a big fan of authorities, but there's nothing wrong. That's one thing too. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having a job. You should have a job, okay? Don't, quit and then join Nerium, go full time and all that. That's what I did, but and I suffered. It sucked and it was hard because my first residual check was like $30. Whoop-de-doo, and yeah. Mindy, she said this up here. Her advice was to take action. I can tell you, if something's holding you back, and maybe you feel like you're stuck, we all get there at some point. Nothing breaks that faster than just taking massive action. And it's like when you break up. I have all these weird thoughts, but it's like when you break up with your girlfriend and you're depressed, and you're just like laying around, and you're just depressed, and you're like eating pizza and laying in your bed, and life sucks and all that. Your buddy comes over and they're like, "Come on, let's go. Let's go to the gym. Let's do something. Let's go. Let's go to the movies." Once you get out of that, you just start getting busy and doing stuff. You don't have time to think about all that crap. So if you take action, you don't have time to think about so and so who told you no, blah blah blah. You don't have time because you're too busy. Take action. What I can tell you right now, especially with EHT, if you don't tell everybody you know about it, they're going to get on it. They're going to get on it from somebody else. So it might as well be from you. Lead by example. Last thing here. I'm assuming everybody in this room, you want, you can have everything you want here, and I know that you want that. And you have to be that person first before you get. Everybody wants to sign up like 5 rock stars and quit. It doesn't work that way. That's not life. That's not anything. You don't go to the gym and get buff in one day. That's not how it works. You got to plant, cultivate, and harvest, and you have to be that person. You have to be 10 core to attract someone that's 10 core. Like Jeff Wilson talks about, all you need is those 5 solid people. Just 5 people that you can lock in on. And I got some of them here in the room today, and I'm thankful for that. And helping those 5 find those 5. And guys, what I can say, and I'll wrap this up here. What I can say is, I mean, look at this room. We're Kansas City, Overland Park, whatever, Kansas City area. I mean, this is a joke. It's a joke how few people are here, and I say that in a positive way. Are you kidding me? There's so many people out there. I mean, there should be, it's just, what I'm trying to say is it's so wide open. It's so wide open. And I can say that, I'm not going to get into that. Well, on a serious note, my grandpa thought he was going to die like a month ago. And the EHT has really helped him. Powerful product, and it's only been out for a couple weeks. Can you imagine the stories that are going to come back after 90 days? Jeff Olson knows what this stuff does. We all know what it does. Be careful about what you say. You don't want to get in trouble. But we know what it does. He said, if you love somebody, you've got to get them on this product, even if you have to pay for it. It becomes 3-year free in August. Your businesses are going to explode. That's why Andy said they lifted the lid. It's not the first 1,000 NMDs, although it'd be cool to get in there. But, there's so many different people who weren't attracted to the skincare that are attracted to this. I got a chiropractor that's been blowing me off for 2 years. Now she wants to sign up as a brand partner because she knows that she can get EHT to her clients that come in. So it's going to be massive. Kansas City is untouched. St. Joe, just because I live there, it's all untouched. This is the tip of the iceberg. Jeff Olson says you're not only sitting in seats that have never been sat in before. You're sitting in seats that you can't even comprehend. Like you don't even know what's about to happen. So. That's all. Thank you, everybody.